All right, good morning everyone. Melissa here. Thanks for joining my channel, watching my channel. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. I talk about everything here in the realm of women, mothers, homemaking, homeschooling, business, cleaning, all kinds of stuff, exercise. Building her up is really important, guys. So, how do we build women up when they're in a work situation that is not healthy? So, let me see here. Um, couple ways I can talk about this. So, restaurant work, we know is tough, right? It's just tough work. It's good. Sometimes the money can be really good. Sometimes it's not. Um, but restaurant work is just hard work. And I think a lot of people who don't work in restaurants don't realize the type of work it is. So as I've had many, many years experience working in the restaurant business, um, it's just for some reason, harassment and stuff and a hostile environment goes with the restaurant work. So, yeah, I had a situation where my son is just leaving. I had a situation where somebody was like, someone had called me last night, well, texted me the other night and said, "Hey, can you cover for me?" And I was like, "Awesome. Thank you, God. I needed the extra money. Great." So, when I went into work last night, I had already told the manager about this mean girl, right? Most of the people I work with are good people, but there are a few. There are a few, and some of them have attitudes. So, I had at the end of the night ordered some soup and a meal, and I rung it up separate because I was like, okay, I think I'll just get soup. And then, no, I changed my mind. I'm like, I'm going to get some food too. So I'm looking in the kitchen at this, not only this mean girl, but this manager laughing because I did this. And I'm thinking, what is the big deal, right? This girl doesn't even know her table numbers. All the time she gets a table, she's like, wait, what table was that? She's always confused, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness, right? These girls are really, I mean, I was right. I was right about these girls. I had heard there were a couple mean girls in the workforce, and someone gave me a heads up, and sure enough, yep. So, and then I had sat people last night, and I had a girl come up to me, a coworker, and say, "So and so has more tables than me, and it's not fair," basically was her attitude. And I said, "Well," I said, "we sat, this was a pickup table, not your section. Even if it's in your section, it's a pickup table. Basically, that means it's free." So I said, "We sat this person here. That was just rotation." And then I didn't even get to explain that the other person wanted a booth. The other party wanted a booth. So that's why this person got another table before you. And I had said, she's like, "Well, this person got two tables." And I'm like, "Well, me and so, I leaned on the other person because he was helping me make decisions, chose to do it this way, basically, in a nutshell." And I just had said, "Well, me and so made this decision together." And she took a fit. I said, "Look, you're up next. You're up next." Took a fit. Was totally offended and took a fit. So the next table I gave her was one person, and she was even madder. So I had gone to a manager and said, "Look, this is what's going on." And she's like, "That seems acceptable." And I'm like, "Yeah." So, guys, when you have this stuff happening, when you have people have attitudes at work, talk about you, etc., I had talked to a woman at work and said, we were talking about people who gossip, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like the gossip. I'm not a gossipy person." But there are principles that you have to deal with in work, right? So the biggest thing you can do is stay focused on your own work. And I am someone who minds my business. I like to get along with everybody. I don't get into these little cliques. Mind your business and stay focused on your work and stay professional. So that is the best advice I can give. I didn't know this stuff when I was younger, and I used to get upset because, restaurant work is tough. And I would just quit a job. I'd be like, okay, they're not being nice to me. I'm just going to quit. And I didn't realize, the different principles as I got older, um, that come into play that help. So, I've been at this job a while now, and I have other stuff going on. So this is why it's important to get your own business going, because you can't control other people, and that's fine. But when other people are not being professional, are being immature, it is even more motivation to get your own business going. So that is more motivation for me, as I've been in the restaurant business for years. I've seen it all, and I've seen how it can be. So it can be, not that you can't handle it, but it can be rough. It's catty, it's immature. And then you go to church for the most part, and you see women who are very mature, or business people that I am around. I have a bunch of business meetings today, who are much more nurturing, caring, better principles. They usually live a better life. Entrepreneurs usually have a higher standard in their living. So that's what I got for now, guys.